Welcome back to Who Gives a Shit? No, I'm joking. We're going to be talking about the Mariners. Let's go ahead and roll the intro.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
So the Mariners drop 2 games of this series and of an opponent that you kind of want to just keep tabs on as the year goes on. 3-1, the Mariners win on Friday, followed by a 4-3 loss, and then a 6-5 devastating loss on Sunday. That one was just very tough to just breathe in. Let's go ahead and dive into Friday's game a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, we got Colt Emerson had the bomb, had was 1 for 2, had 2 runs, had the RBI, standout, and he's been a standout player. Some of these transactions that they're making, Buddy Kennedy, if you didn't hear about that transaction, curious to note what they're going to do with this infield, what they're going to do with this roster as we get closer to the trade deadline. And Cole Emerson, the expendable guy, and for what reason? Because I don't think he's very expendable right now. I think he's one of the glue guys that is helping your roster out. Between him and Cole Young are doing fairly well, and you kind of want to see how they do staying in the lineup. And also, just what does that message send a young player that just got called up at his age? Hey, we're going to break it back down. Let's see what happens next. But other than that, there was no multi-hit player in the game. Others to note: Cole Young 1 for 4, Luke Raley went 1 for 1, JP Crawford 1 for 4, Julio and Randy Arozarena both 1 for 4 and 1 for 3, respectively. A couple walks in the game. Dom Canzone 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Randy Arozarena also had a walk. And Cole Emerson, not only did he go 1 for 2 with a bomb, he also had 2 walks. Just another reason why we should continue looking at this guy as our guy. Luis Castillo, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And this whole piggybacking situation just continues to, not make sense. Like, why don't we just go to a traditional, I say traditional, but a 6-man rotation? Are we that worried that we're going to mess up guys' routine? I feel like giving everybody 1 extra day off is going to help in the long run. You have 6, use 6. Like, this piggybacking situation is just kind of, getting on my nerves. And I can definitely, as I watch through Mariners Twitter, I try my best to keep up, but summer with the family and going different places, I don't always, I'm not as active as I would like to be on Twitter, but just know I see what you guys are saying, and it sounds like a lot of Mariners Twitter is kind of on the same page with the whole piggybacking situation, especially other podcasters. Shout out Mariner Mojo, shout out Locked On Seattle Mariners. There's some really good podcasters out there that we've come to know and respect in the industry, and honestly, it's a community. That's how I've always viewed us. If there's anything positive to take away from this show, it's that we're a community and we're in this together, and that's the message that I want to go out there, is that this is a community, and sometimes we may disagree with each other, and a lot of the times I think we're aligned on some of the decisions. So that was the Friday night game. 3-1, the Mariners win. Then getting to that 4-3 loss, we had a couple multi-hit games. Julio 2 for 4, Dom Canzone 2 for 5, and Randy Arozarena 2 for 4 with a bomb. The only other hit in the game was Cole Young. Sorry, Josh Naylor went 1 for 5, and then Cole Young 1 for 4. Those were the only other 2 hits in the game. That mixed with a couple walks. Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley, and Colt Emerson also walked. But Logan Gilbert having to get the loss after going 7 strong. I'd say strong, but seven innings. If you go 7 innings in 2026, I feel like that's noteworthy. Gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 7 strikeouts, no walks. It's a good day, in my opinion. It's a good day. On my fantasy team, that's a great day. But the loss, may have hurt us not as well. Also, in our fantasy, we don't losses and wins don't mean a whole lot. Quality starts go a lot further than wins in our league. And I did create that because I also agree. Wins and losses really shouldn't especially look over the years. If we're looking at wins and losses, Felix probably would have never got the love that he did get, the Cy Young and all that stuff for only winning 11 or 12 games that year. So that's why I put more emphasis on the quality starts. Jose Ferrer has been solid, knock on wood. We're going to continue hoping that he adds some value to that bullpen because the bullpen is something that we need to address as per a lot of different people, including MLB trade rumors. That's one area that they're going to target, that and a right-handed bat is what they plan on targeting in the trade deadline this year, or I guess between now and the trade deadline. So I'll be interested to see on who they go after. There's going to be a lot of names they can go after, and knowing Jerry, he's probably not going to go after the highest of profile relief pitchers. I think he loves finding a diamond in the rough when it comes to relief pitchers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go attack some no-name guys or guys that aren't household names, I should say. Can't say no-name guys because we get a guy that has some incredible stats. You call him a no-name guy, that's just kind of disrespect, isn't it? Oh, so that was that game. Moving on to Sunday. Wolf. Had a 4-2 lead. Was it 4-2? Yeah, 4-1. 4-1 going into the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland put up a 5 spot, and yeah, it's this bullpen and the bullpen management. There's a lot of people, and this is where I've seen a lot of discourse on Twitter. Just Dan Wilson. In general, I am not for calling for someone's job, especially somebody who has a winning record since they've been the manager. A name that we all love, Dan Wilson. But I have some, I guess, critiques or just areas of improvement that I'd like to see over time. We all know his personality. He's not going to be the fiery guy that stands up for his players in the game. I think we've seen it count it on one hand or even less than that. How many times he's just going to go out there and stick up for his guys and get in umpires' faces. But at some point, you got to do that. That's just part of the game. You need a coach that's going to have your back to the nth degree. When you are starting to lose hope as a team, you need that leader that does that. And somebody, if the manager comes out of the game, you still have the players on the field that you can still win the game with. And that's why a manager should always step in. But in that regards, I'd like to see just a little bit more out of that. And there's going to be a lot of people that disagree. No, he should be fired, all this other stuff. And hey, have your opinion. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just here to have my side of the argument. And that's Dan Wilson has won a lot of games. And he's taken us the furthest that we've ever gone as a franchise. So I think that should come with a little bit of grain of salt. Now, with that being said, yeah, I want to see some areas of improvement. The bullpen management is absolutely one of those. Deciding to go to Edward Bizzardo when you had Emerson Hancock that probably could have gotten through the rest of that inning. And if he didn't, he didn't. But I think it was his start to lose, and he's earned that this year to be able to try and finish out the 6th inning and earn himself a quality start. But we go to Bizzardo, get the one out, move on to the next, to move on to 3 lefties. And just that management was not in the greatest of flavors. But through the game, we'll talk about some of the things that we do like. J.P. Crawford, Julio, and Josh Naylor all set up for multi-hit games. J.P. Crawford 2 for 6, Julio 2 for 4, and Josh Naylor 2 for 4 as well. Also, Cole Young and Victor Robles multi-hit games. Cole Young 2 for 5, Victor Robles 2 for 5 as well. No home runs in the game, but all around really good from the offensive side. Randy had kind of an offsetting 0 for 5. You don't see, with how he's been playing lately, you just don't see that too often. So 0 for 5, That's what we love about baseball. Tomorrow's a new day. So we need to see a little bit something different as we move forward. But yeah, Emerson Hancock, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, uncharacteristically 3 walks. Wasn't his best outing, but still only gave up the 1 earned run. We have Bizzardo come in, collect the 1 out. I did give up a hit. Gabe Spire came in the following inning to face the lefties. 1 inning, 2 hits, no runs, no strikeouts, no walks. Just getting through the inning. Michael Rucker, Auburn native, by the way, went to Auburn Riverside, which is I grew up on that hill, Lakeland Hills, right up the road. So, have your thoughts on Michael Rucker, but I'm still going to be a fan. He's representing the hometown. He just didn't have the greatest outing. Went a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, no strikeouts, and 2 walks. Followed by Josh Simpson, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk. And just horrific game to watch when you see that lead get blown against a team that you need to try and keep the upper hand on just in case something happens down the road. Cleveland's going to be in it. Much respect to Steven Vogt and what he's done with Cleveland, but yeah, it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss for the weekend, and what you got coming up next. You're just hoping that there's a lot of fire, you know. So fast forward to what's coming up next. The Mariners take on the Angels and the Blue Jays. Following that, they take them on today, Monday, June 29th at 6:40 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Angels are 36-49, and my goodness, you just gotta find that fire. This is the series where you just gotta find the fire and keep it rolling. Ryan Johnson takes on George Kirby tonight. Ryan Johnson, still small sample of what he has on his plate. He's 1-2 with an 8.84 ERA with 15 strikeouts. George Kirby has been pretty solid for us this year. Had some upsides and downs, but had a lot of ups, in my opinion. 6-7, a 3.94 ERA, 84 strikeouts on the season. That'll be tonight at 6:40 back in Seattle. Then tomorrow, June 30th, Jose Soriano. This is going to be your tougher matchup. Jose Soriano takes on Brian Wu. Wu has had just some ups and downs this entire year, kind of uncharacteristically. I've seen some other discourse about Brian Wu. I'm still going to stand behind. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. He's having a bad year, and I think he just needs to kind of get back to his thing. And I always go with the Mariners and their direction with how they train their pitchers on, hey, we're going to aim middle, let your stuff work. And it works for strikeout to walk ratio, or I should say walk ratio, because strikeouts, we've seen some really talented strikeout artists come through the Mariners organization and then just be held to a 9 K per 9. It's not like they're crazy high with 11 or 12. So with that being said, I think Brian Wu's living too much in the zone. This is just coming from my experience in player development, coming from my experience being a pitcher at the college and semi-professional level. I can officially say that it's a semi-professional team when I played for the Seattle Studs. So to those naysayers out there, I got some experience. Enough, right? Just a national championship. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that in there just all willy-nilly, but no, in my time with player development, I think he's just living too much in the zone. You're getting a lot of what you get with George Kirby, where he's starting to get BABIP to death. And guys are understanding that within the first 2 pitches, you're going to get a fastball for a strike. After a year or 2 of data, people can, they can react to that. If they know it's coming, it's going to help their game out, even with how nasty Brian Wu's stuff is, and George Kirby for that matter. If they know they're going to get a fastball somewhere over the heart of the plate in the first 2 pitches, they can react to that and start putting the ball in play and giving themselves a chance to get on base. But moving forward, looks like they have Monday, Tuesday game, Wednesday off. Am I reading that correct? With a Thursday again to finish off the series against the Angels. Still pains me to say Los Angeles of Anaheim. It's still funny. Thursday, July 2nd at 6:40, still in Seattle. Walbert Urania, 5-6 with a 3.14 ERA, 69 strikeouts on the year, takes on Bryce Miller, who has been dominating. Knocking on wood again. 3-2 with a 1.97 ERA and 54 strikeouts on the year. Following that up, you got the Blue Jays series, and that'll also be in Seattle. The Blue Jays are 39-45, and I think they're starting to climb up a little bit. I think they're still far away, but they're a team that can turn on the Jets. They have good enough talent that you always have to just consider them. But also, I go back to the Mariners lost being in first place. Right now, they sit a half game back on the Rangers, and that loss yesterday really means a lot more than what we hoped for, right? Like we had the AL West for quite some time, and we just lost it to the Rangers. Now we're half a game back, but we got the Astros that are punching their way back. I told you at the beginning of the year, the Astros are going to find a way to just be relevant in the AL West, especially if you hang around. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, win the games that you're supposed to win, and just manage your bullpen enough to the extent that you can get through some of these games, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a very poor AL West, and you're just going to be right in the middle of it. And if this is what we go into the trade deadline with, well, Jerry, traditionally, if we're sitting around 500 and we're kind of in the loop, he's not going to make a big trigger, or not going to pull a big trigger. We're not going to go get the guy that we need to go get, which everyone's talking about, Byron Buxton. And I know there's a guy out there, RIP Black Mamba, I think is his name, on Twitter, that's just losing his mind on anybody saying Byron Buxton being traded. And yeah, there's a lot of rumors, or sorry, not a lot of rumors. There's a lot of things that back up that Byron Buxton's probably not going to get traded. The GM himself, I think, came out and said, we're not trading Byron Buxton. However, things change. The Twins are 40-45. They're 4.5 games back. And if they slip to, 8 to 10 games back at the trade deadline, I don't know. I feel like it's at least a conversation, right? Especially with how well he's doing. And if somebody's willing to trade a lot to get that guy, you never know. But as of right now, I think it's a wish, but I don't know if they're going to budge. Around the rest of the AL, or I guess let's finish up with the AL West. You got the Rangers on top at 4. They're 500 and they're on top. Jeez Louise. Mariners are half game back at 42-43. Astros are 42-44. They're 1 game back. The A's are 40-44. They're 2 games back. And the Angels, whom you have coming into town this week, are 6.5 games back at 36-49. The rest of the AL Central, you get the White Sox leading the division. Good for them. They're going to turn a corner. Watch out for them over the next 3 to 5 years. I think that they're going to be very good, especially with who they have still coming up. Hagen Smith, Bonnemer. There's so many good names in that organization. They're going to be good as long as their GM doesn't mess this one up, which sending a prayer for you, boys. The Guardians, 44-40. They are tied with the White Sox for the AL Central. You got the Twins that are 40-45, 4.5 games back. Tigers, 35-49, 9 games back. Royals, 35-50, 9.5 games back. Those are target teams for the next month. The Rays are still on top. I know they've lost a little bit of steam over the last month, but they are still 48-33 and 1 game up on the Yankees. The Yankees are 48-35. Blue Jays 39-45. They're 10.5 games back. The Orioles are 39-46, 11 games back. And the Red Sox are 36-46, 12.5 games back. And just to kind of cover the NL while we're here, The Braves are leading the division for the NL East, 49-33. The Brewers leading the Central, 50-31. And man, oh man, do they have a solid team. They still have some names in AA and AAA that could affect this roster in 2026. And then you got the Dodgers that are 54-30, and they're 10 games up on a team that's 4 games over 500. It's unfair, but that's the game we play. That's the game we love. For Up West Sports, I just want to do a little check-in. Go Mariners, and just remember, life's too short. Gas up your boys.